Bing. Here we are. It is the Martin Fowler Scrum. It is a Wednesday. It is Sam and Enli together. Updates from me. I've been spending the morning on the NHS Wiki project, writing up kind of like the first phase report, which I've just shared a draft of in the NHS Wiki channel. That I'm hoping to send that later today. I think this should be a relatively uncontroversial document, but sort of gives an overview of all the different things we've been doing. Hey there, Pat.
Hey there.
Then what I've been doing, what I've sort of been putting off, I've been going through, I'm sort of making a completely new instance of the MediaWiki installation from scratch and documenting everything that I do with the visual editor and the HTTPS and these things, so that we've got sort of a proper clone of the production environment on which we can test changes before they go live. I've been getting great timely feedback from the moderation extension maintainer. We still haven't fixed all of the issues. I'm getting a bit nervous about how we're kind of basically operating without any acceptance tests, or just sort of making changes to a live production system without with like unknown knock-on effects and so on. So I'm getting there with that, building that stack. So that's quite pleasing. That's what will be documented. We have got the Elixir mob coming up in about an hour, and other things today. It's Wednesday, so we've got the async voter kickoff after the afternoon scrum. Things basically under control. Oh, the MOOC has also gone live. There probably is things to do there as well, but I'm not looking at it yet. So there we go. That's me. Enli, how are things going with you?
It's kind of, I don't know where to start.
Mm-hmm.
I want to contribute that project, but I wonder if other people first come to that project will try to familiar with the old code. In this week, when I have time, I just watch the video and I watch the code.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make some code. Where should I start? Any suggest about that?
Yeah. So you've been doing the AV 102 course, and you're now hoping to contribute to the local support project. Yeah. And so you've been watching the videos of the local support projects, and you're asking for suggestions of what to work on. Yeah, is that right? Yeah. And so we did vote on some new refactoring stories for local support, which I got.
If a feature somebody doing it, may I do it at the same time?
Well, I guess we can maybe review the project flow for local support again. Maybe we'll do that at the end of the Scrum. If that's your main, issue, we can sort of talk about that in some detail. Let's maybe first, unless you've got other things outside of local support, any other questions or any other concerns or blockers?
No.
Okay, so we'll come back to the local support in a moment. Let's just first go to Pat and hear how things are going from Pat. How are things with you, Pat?
Pretty good. So what I've been doing is mostly SHF project work. We had a team meeting yesterday. In the afternoon, in the morning, I connected with Robert Cram, who's in the Netherlands, and got him started on a SHF story.
Right.
So he stood up the app, and he's poured through the database schema and some of the code. So he's off and running at this point.
Oh, great.
And we'll be meeting as a team tomorrow as well, including Robert, and keep track of progress. So
Wonderful.
That's pretty much it for me right now.
All right. Excellent. Thanks, Pat. Well, I guess you also had a meeting with the Met Plus client on Monday?
We did. Yep. So he was trying to get some other people involved with using Met Plus, and they didn't see the emails that should have come through when they registered as a job seeker for confirmation of their account. And So I suggested that he get the IT person associated with that. This is another jobs agency he's working with.
Okay, yeah.
Get the IT person involved with that agency to contact me or Hua and find out, because from Mailgun's point of view, the mail delivery service point of view, the emails are going out. There's no problem there.
Okay.
So anyway, haven't heard from anybody at this point. So
right,
maybe they figured it out.
Order the spam filter. One of the things that I've done on local support and all those systems is I CC every outgoing email to like a tech support at adventures.org thing. So I kind of I tend not to trust the outgoing reports from things like Mailgun and SendGrid, and I like to see the actual email arriving in my inbox. Is one possibility, but yeah, it's a common problem with people getting stuff stuck in their spam filters. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
By the way, just as an aside, I don't know if you saw that SendGrid now has changed their structure. There is no such thing as a free tier anymore. You
right.
We're all grandfathered in if you've got an account.
Yeah. Right.
So,
okay. That's interesting. Yeah. Thank you for mentioning that. And so nothing else blocking you?
Nope.
All right. There we go. I guess I'm just going to draw your attention to the discussions and little things going on in the new projects channel. I know you certainly don't have bandwidth to take on new things. The thing I was going to particularly mention is this Burma thing. Is there's a potential for payment there if we can move things forward. I guess the critical thing there is case studies. So I'm going to be trying to, like, having done this report, final report for the NHS, I'm going to try and turn that into a case study. We don't have to go into too much detail now, but I'm be interested in would it make sense to write up a case study of the Wiki EDU dashboard? We've got that final report from Sage. There's your own thoughts about it. I guess the overall tone of that is kind of, well, it was nice. It was not as, you know what I mean? I could be linking the Burma people directly to that, and I don't know that necessarily that would like fill them with enthusiasm, if you know what I mean. Like it's sort of it's a mixed bag, so to speak. And maybe that means. Oh, sorry, go on.
I think it's also a different thing. Set of objectives for the Wiki EDU project versus basically building this system for the Myanmar situation. So I don't think it's very applicable, aside from the fact that it's a qualified failure or a qualified success, how one wants to put it.
Yeah.
It's not applicable to what they're asking us to do.
Well, yes and no. I mean, I think in some ways the NHS thing is more or less. I mean, I think it's not so much showing a case study of like, here is something that we would we'd use exactly that model for you. I think it's more about having a set of case studies to show the ways in which we've worked. So the NHS project is an example of one funding model where we've just been paid for it and we've delivered something, off the shelf, but not done any development work. And the Wiki Dashboard EDU is a model where, project management has been paid for, and we've had volunteer developers create, or contribute to a bespoke system.
Right.
So it's rather than it being like, here's a model of how we would specifically deliver the things for you for the Myanmar, it's more about showing the range of ways in which Agile Ventures can do work and the pros and cons of those different approaches. So, but I guess it would be.
Well, to me,
go on.
On their side, if we present a case study like that, to me, I'd be saying, well, why are they presenting this to me? That's not really our model here. We don't have an intact development team, and we just need to augment it with Agile Ventures people. We don't have any team, and we need them to take full control, which is like the NHS. The NHS project is directly applicable, I think.
I think it may well be closer. I mean, they do have an existing system, and we could be saying that we were offering to support people who are doing Drupal development on that. Anyway, okay, yeah. So, yeah. I think for us in the long run, independently of the Myanmar one, having case studies of the different ways that we work, is a valuable thing. But I guess, you're not filled with enthusiasm for getting a case study report like written from the perspective of Agile Ventures of like how we will present the WikiED dashboards to the world going forward?
Not at this time. And the Myanmar thing, I'm not convinced. I mean, personally, I'm not sure that I want to be involved with that. I do want to learn more about it, though.
Right.
So I don't know if we have an opportunity to set up a call with somebody who could talk to us. We have that skimpy document.
We do have that opportunity. Yeah, and I wasn't necessarily trying to press you to get involved in it. I was hoping. My objective was moving towards having some way of presenting what we've done in WikiED dashboards to the rest of the world, potentially including the Myanmar people, but just generally. Like we've got the case studies in our non-profit site, and it seems to be both the NHS and the WikiED dashboard ones are better examples than some of the projects that are currently there, which were ones that didn't really get off the ground. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, food for thought.
Well, I think the SHF project or local support are highly applicable to many situations, right? So
they are, but I think what I'm particularly keen to do is present the different ways in which funding can help things work. So if we present the SHF project as a case study, well, yeah, absolutely, throw in there. But the highest priority to me is to bring in more funds. So I'm keen to present the two recent fee-paying things as part of those case studies. But yes, absolutely, SHF projects. Go on.
I would say that it might be worth developing a case study for WikiEDU, a short one, depending upon whether the project really meets our profile and we think we can take it on and be successful there. We also need to understand what it is they'd go through to get funding. If we decide that it's still worth doing regardless of funding, well, that's a different path we can take.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the input. I think for me, it's important to separate the creation of the case study from this particular Myanmar project. I think it's very valuable for us to have a case study of the WikiED dashboard and NHS Wiki things written up, kind of ready to go for anybody who wants to collaborate with us. And there's this other group, the Iraqi group as well, Orphan group. Anyway, that's we'll leave it there. Okay, well that's our Scrum, and then also some discussion, I guess. And Lee, yeah. So we should talk a bit more about the local support. Yeah. And Lee, you still there?
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, and you've heard this all before, Pat. So yeah, I'll catch up with you a bit later. But of course, feel free to stay around if you are.
Yep. Okay. Take care. Bye now.
Hear it all again. All right. Bye for now. So yeah. So Enli, you're asking about the local support. So the question that you're asking. Let me go in here and here. So you're asking, is it okay to work on, a feature that somebody else is already working on? And I have written about that in, I'll link you the document again that talks through the flow, if I can get to it. Hold on, here we go. So we've got working on a project. So this document here talks through about, and it takes this specific example of local support about the current column is what people are currently working on. There's the backlog, there's the icebox, and so on. So this is a good document to read again. I will just put that in your Slack.
Maybe I should write it again after that.
It's I understand that English is not your first language, so it's good to ask the question as well, and then maybe we can come back to the document. But so go on.
The question is, and it's just how I get started. I don't know
how to get started. Yeah.
Where to start?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. So there's also another document which is all about starting on a new project. That's starting a new project. Hold on. Stay with me. Joining a project here. So there's another document here that this tries to go step by step through the things that you need to do to get started. So I'll send you a link to that document as well. But I'm also happy to talk through things. So you can work on a feature with somebody. For example, Olena, she is working on this thing, integrating lists with map. We can see that says it is started, and Olena is one of the owners. So she's working on this. This is quite a big, complicated feature. We had a big discussion with her on Tuesday about splitting it into two smaller features. If you want to work on this with Olena or any story with the person, the important thing is to talk to the person who is already working on it. So, for example, if I was a new person on local support and I was interested in working with Olena on integrating lists with map, I would come into the local support channel and I would type her name like so. I'd say, hi, I am interested to work with you on, and then we might take the link of the story and paste that into here. The map list integration.
That means that is that true? If I want to write some code about that project, I must find a new feature. Is that true?
No, it doesn't have to be a new feature. So you can, I mean, you can write, of course, you can write any code that you want. The code is open source. You can fork it. You can, write code if you want. If you want to work effectively with the team and you want to work on an existing feature that someone has started, then it is good to ask that person how it's going and how you can help. Yeah, and this is an example of how you might ask that person. But you don't have to. You could look in the backlog and look for something that has not been started. For example, you might say, the events map looks interesting. I would like to work on the events map. Then, if there's no one working on it,
of that event, is that true? If I click the start button,
you could click the start. Yeah, but before you click the start button, it's a great idea to say, for example, either here or channel, I am thinking of working on about the event map. Do you think this is a good ticket for me to work on? So it's because to coordinate for Agile and to learn from others, rather than just to start work alone, is to let people know that you are interested to work on something. And then, we can discuss the best way to work. You can still do the work yourself, or even, it's all of the code is open. So you can start if you want and work on something. But the danger is that you write something that's not compatible or doesn't work so well, and then we can't add. So it's great to communicate about what you plan to do. Does that make sense?
I think I realized that it's important to think I as the one part of that that company. It's not good for work in my alone.
Yeah, it can be difficult sometimes, particularly in a new project where you don't know the code base. So, oh dear, my computer is having trouble. So, but even better than asking in the chat, definitely ask in the chat, you know, either to people. Also, it's great to ask the person in the chat because it, you know, maybe Elena has stopped working on this and I know we need a new person. Or, you know, it's very important to do as much communication in the channel where others can see so that everyone can help each other. Yeah, and we all know what's going on. Or just asking about starting a new story. It's also good to come into a Scrum and ask questions like you've done today. It's very good. Excellent, excellent. Very, very, very good to come and ask questions like you do today. There might also be stories in the icebox that you want to work on, and usually the stories, they need to have a vote before they can be worked on when there's coding involved. So then we can also vote on the stories in the Scrums or the local support kickoff. Sorry, I'm having trouble with one of my things here. Anyway, I hope that helps.
It made me more clear about that.
Great, great. But so do read again the links I sent. Yeah, from this is the Agile Ventures, how to join a project, how to, you know, stay involved in a project. And I better go now. Yeah, but we can meet again in another Scrum for more questions. And on Thursday, we have more time for local support.
Okay.
Okay, that's good.
See you.
Great.
Okay.
Sure. And feel free to ask in Slack anytime. Yeah?
Okay.
Great. All right.
Bye.
Bye for now.